Are you ready? Let's do this thing.
Hold on, I need to refresh this really fast.
So do you take notes about your books? Because she does.
This is just Goodreads, but I do take notes. I mostly take notes of all of the typos.
She does. She takes notes about the typos.
Sorry, so here's the thing. I started this series. Are we going?
Sure.
I started this series probably, when did I read this book? It's hard to tell. 2022 in April. So it's been a while. And I always let my kids pick which book I read next, and for some reason they won't pick this one. So it's the second book of this series, and my kids just won't pick this. Look how cool the cover is. Can you see that?
It does look pretty cool. And so what we're doing now is we're going to share 3 of the books we're most excited to read coming up here. And so I guess this one you're really excited to read, but maybe our kids will never pick.
I don't think they're ever going to pick it. So I need to I usually give them five options to choose from. So I just need to start doing 4 options, and then 3 options, and 2 options until they just have to pick it.
Just one option. Oh, that's all you get.
Which one should I read?
It is interesting because
Anyway.
it is a fantastic looking cover. It does kind of look maybe a little scary though. Like maybe that's what it is. Our
they
kids
don't
are a
want me
little
to
bit
read a
of
scary
scaredy
book.
cats because they just are, and perhaps that was what it is. It does look a little scary there.
It's not necessarily scary.
Well, yes, but the cover looks scary.
You're right. It's
So,
sweet.
you like the first one, I guess?
Yes, this is The Legend of Orisha is how I say it.
Okay.
This is the second book. The first one was really good. The magic system was a little bit confusing.
Okay.
So I almost want to read this just to see if it...
Flushes it out a little more?
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
The characters are good. I'm not sure where they're headed. I don't know if they're going to be enemies or friends towards the end of this one. I'm excited to read it. Who knows if I'll ever get to it. But anyway, there we go.
Speaking of second books, so this is the second in the Malzahn Book of the Fallen series. I read the first one. I didn't really like it, which is hard because I've heard it's an awesome epic fantasy. Someone, one of you guys, commented that I really need to read the second on one of our reviews where I said, hey, I'm not sure that I'm going to pick up the second one. And so here is Dead House Gates. I'm going to pick it up and do it. I'm encouraged by the fact that somebody said, hey, it gets better. It wasn't the worst book that I read, the first one. It just didn't grip me. It felt like it dragged for quite a bit. And I normally read books pretty fast, so if I'm feeling like it kind of drags, that's impressive as it goes on there. But I am excited to jump back into this. The entire series I've heard is one of the best in epic fantasy, and I love long epic fantasy series. So I'm excited to see if this lives up to the billing. And I'm also a little interested because if it doesn't, then I'm just kind of crossed off my list and be like, hey, I've done 2 of 10. The 2 aren't great. I'm going to move on.
Is 2 a fair one? A fair amount? I think you need to get a little further in.
I feel like if the first 2 aren't good, maybe I'll pick up the third. I don't know, but it's not going to be anytime soon.
Yeah.
But I am excited to basically make that judgment call of, is this a series I'm finishing?
Cool.
Is this a series I'm not finishing?
I'm excited to see what happens. I don't know much about this book. It's definitely YA. Legendborn is what it's called.
Okay.
I've owned it for a little bit. I'm excited to read it because it's pretty popular. The second one is also pretty popular. So I assume it stays good. I don't really know much about it. So
what makes you excited to read it? If you know it's popular.
Yep, it's popular.
And it's YA. So those 2 things I know are triggers for you if you like them. But is there something else about this that makes it? Is it just the cover that grabs you?
The cover is really cool. Also, just looking at all of my other TBRs, there's not a ton of fantasy left on my TBRs. So I'm kind of feeling fantasy right now, and so it just really captures me.
To be fair, I have a whole bunch of books that should be on her TBR that she allegedly will read later, and there'd be plenty of fantasy on there. Just gonna say. Speaking of fantasy, so this is the Crimson Campaign. This is the second book in the Powder Mage trilogy. I'm really excited for this. In fact, I'm so excited for this. I almost bought the 3rd book recently. Just a really interesting world. Basically, Napoleonic war with magic is probably the way that I would describe it. It was a very, very fun first read. Really, really enjoyed it. Excited to get into this and flush out some of these characters a little more and just deal more with I'm not a huge fan of guns in a fantasy setting. This one just did it really well in a way that I really enjoyed, and so I'm excited to jump in more and learn more about it. Also the call outs on here are from people that authors I love, like for instance Just Plain Awesome by Brandon Sanderson, or a fantastic quote back here from Brent Weeks. The first one had an awesome one on there from Robin Hobb. Basically, all the authors I love Brian McClellan, who's the author here. Really, really fantastic first book, so I'm excited to see if the second one meets the expectations of the first one.
Bye-bye. This one is definitely from him.
Yeah.
Onto my list. It's been there for years. I really have been meaning to get to it. And
I don't think she ever will.
I will. I'm really excited for it. There's just so many other things to read. I think I need to finish Wheel of Time and Stormlight before I can get into this. I don't know.
Why?
I don't know, because they're so long and big. I need to finish one of them.
I don't understand that at all.
I don't know. But I'm excited. I hear there's good relationships and friends and...
Yeah, and it is a series. There's multiple of them, but it isn't an epic fantasy series in the way that Wheel of Time or Stormlight
I think I need to finish one so that my brain has the capacity just to like enjoy this to the max.
Like, I would venture a bet that doesn't have any more characters than those other ones over there.
Good. Okay, that's
right.
happy.
Like it is much more of a contained story, and a contained world than the majority of fantasy settings that you're put in. So I think that's a cop out, and you're just avoiding a good book because you're.
I don't know why I
you're
put
afraid.
this off so much.
I really don't know why either. I've wanted to read it since the day I finished it.
I know. I think I'll love it. It'll happen. I'll get to it.
I don't believe it.
Anyway,
at all.
Eliza Block Lamoret.
So I have the third in the Expanse series here, Abandoned Skate. So the second book in the Expanse series leaves off with a giant cliffhanger. So I'm excited to get in and get through this. I've really liked the Expanse series. Really interesting sci-fi. Sci-fi is normally not my thing. Really like these. In fact, like him so much that I know this author is writing a fantasy series. I'm gonna have to pick up that fantasy series because I just like the writing. It's very fast-paced. It is very episodic is the way that I want to describe it. It feels like TV episodes, which I know that actually became a TV series, so maybe I'll have to watch it. But it just feels, it's kind of that fast pace. It sometimes doesn't have the world building maybe that you get from bigger epic fantasy or sci-fi. Like I'm thinking of other sci-fi I've read, like Hyperion or something like that. It doesn't quite feel that big, but because it's contained in our solar system, which is in sci-fi, it changes things a little bit, right? There's other races and other things. It's basically like we just have colonized a few other planets, and there's human things going on there. Because it doesn't feel so big, it is easier maybe to keep track of things, and it's just really fun and really. I'm just really excited to get into it. It's a good one. I'm really excited to pick these up. These are my next 3 to read in order,
really?
And so I'm going to be going through them really quickly here.
These I don't think I'm getting to in the next month.
5 years?
Well, depending on a couple of things. I might get to that one. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
All right. Well, I'm Blake.
I'm Jamie.
And we're Blamey.
See you later.
Bye.